I'm thankful to have you being a part of the show this Thursday. We will tonight talk about a number of arrests, particularly one arrest here in Montgomery County and a number of indictments as were returned by the sitting Johnson County grand jury. And we will as well tonight talk about this. It was my turn today to get to talk to 12-year-old Colton Reisner, who talks more like a 21-year-old and is certainly acting like it. And I hope you read his story in last week's edition of the Sagersville Independent. Tonight, it was my turn, however. And we'll have a host of other updates. And are your phones working? Well, they should be now at this hour, but I'll give you a little glimpse into why they weren't today for the second time in the past couple of weeks with a major outage and more in just a second. What we have here is our famous chicken sandwich at your Sagersville Lee's, which is also Saturday's special. You can get a chicken sandwich, wedges, and a drink for just $5. But tomorrow is Friday, and Friday's special is a liver or gizzard dinner with 2 homemade sides and a biscuit for just $4.79 plus tax. Let's recap. Chicken sandwich, Saturday special, or get it any day of the week. Tomorrow, livers or gizzards with 2 homemade sides and a biscuit for just $4.79 at your Sagersville least famous recipe.
Car wrecks, truck wreck, disability, workers' comp, slip and fall, wrongful death. Your case matters to you.
Your case matters to us. Contact McFarland Tinker Law Office. With our combined experience of over 58 years, we're here ready to work for you.
The reassurance of getting your medications and over-the-counter needs at Sagersville's oldest and most trusted pharmacy, the convenience of curbside pickup and call-ahead service, and the fact that you can walk in, order to go, or sit down and get gourmet quality hot fudge brownies, nachos, shakes, coffees, hot dogs with homemade sauce, desserts, and more makes it more than your hometown good neighbor pharmacy. It's a destination in downtown Sagersville, Fraser's Prater Drugstore. It doesn't get any sweeter than that. Thanks again for joining me this evening. Phones have been a problem, an issue for a lot of Eastern Kentucky viewing area customers today. And it's not the first time in the past few weeks. It was a couple of weeks ago that a major fiber line or series of lines was cut in the AT&T service line, and that affects a lot of folks when that happens, and not just, as we learned or reminded of, AT&T customers. It caused a lot of headaches for Foothills, Appalachian Wireless, and a lot of other customers, and it was remedied after a couple of days, and then several days later, almost a couple of weeks, in the past 24 hours or so. Well, another issue, actually, which, as I just learned from Ruth Conley, CEO of Foothills Communications, just before I sat down, appears to have been remedied, according to reports to her office from AT&T. 2 circuits that came back up just a few minutes before 6 o'clock, I am told. She explained it to me, and I had no idea what she was talking about, but essentially they are called SS7 links. They're very stable, hardly ever have any problems, may never have had a problem with one since her existence or tenure, if you will, at Foothills Communications, but 2 times in 2 weeks. The second one this morning, they went down. The impact means that all inbound calls into Appalachian Wireless and Foothills were failing, except calls from Mountain Telephone customers and Appalachian Wireless customers that are not roaming or using the LRA VoLTE for voice. They say, that being AT&T, says the outage was due to major storms that caused multiple downed trees and power lines, I believe in parts of Tennessee. But nevertheless, it appears to have been fixed, and you should be able to talk to whomever you choose at this hour. The governor today says that $30 million is coming in funding to support 29 projects that will provide clean drinking water and improve water systems for over 1,200 households across parts of Kentucky. The Cleaner Water Program is part of the governor's Better Kentucky plan, which he says is creating almost 15,000 jobs and helping build better schools, expand access to high-speed internet, and improve a variety of infrastructure. He says among these new projects, 29 recently approved projects are being funded by the American Rescue Plan Act and administered by the Kentucky Infrastructure Authority. An initial $250 million was appropriated through a bipartisan agreement at the close of 2021, with the General Assembly then approving for clean drinking water and wastewater grants to fund projects across Kentucky. New projects approved for funding from the Cleaner Water Program include $3.3 million to the Breathitt County Water District to expand a water line, providing service to another 86 households, also constructing a 100,000-gallon water storage tank and a 20,000-gallon water storage tank and a pump station. Campbell County gets $1 million, Christian County just a little over $2 million, Floyd County almost $2 million for the Southern Water and Sewer District to construct a 200,000-gallon water storage tank, a booster pumping station, a pressure reducer vault, a solenoid vault, and 19,000 linear feet of water line. Morgan County is getting right at $3 million for their water district to construct 39,000 feet of water line. 39,000 feet. Build 2 pump stations, build a new 150,000-gallon water tank, and a 9,000-gallon tank. Kenton County is getting $1 million. Pendleton County almost $1 million as well. And the governor announced an additional $250 million in funding for the program and has asked local utilities to submit projects for that second round. Another round of $250 million. Starting July the 21st, water resource coordinators representing Kentucky's 15 AD districts and area water management councils can submit project profiles through the program with interest in funding from the Cleaner Water Program. So that means hopefully more counties will get in on millions of dollars. Let's talk about an arrest first in McGoffin County before we go to indictments returned in Johnson. The arrest of a man for eluding police in his vehicle, and it does appear as though attempting to elude them as well on foot. Just after 1 o'clock this morning, a deputy with the McGoffin County Sheriff's Department arrested this man, Ryan Neal Bailey, after an attempted traffic stop here in Sagersville on West Maple Street at the lower end of town. It was early this morning that he tried to stop a red, that being the deputy, a red 98 Ford Mustang for a traffic violation, and the driver of which, Bailey, fled recklessly at a high rate of speed, crossing the double yellow line, taking curves on the wrong side of the road as he went across the Ivy Point Hill and continued on 460 West. He finally pulled over at one point where the deputy demanded that he get out of his car, but instead he attempted to make a U-turn going back towards Sagersville on 460, and after about a quarter of a mile or so and somewhere near the BP station on Elk Creek, the vehicle suffered a malfunction and broke down. The driver, Bailey, jerked the wheel of the vehicle to the right, throwing it over the hill, and it came to a stop, and he jumped out and ran on foot at that time before he was apprehended. When asked why he was running, the deputy quotes him as saying, "Because I am as high as a kite." Again, he was arrested and charged with fleeing or evading police in the first, 2 separate counts, and a number of other charges, totaling, I believe, 9 counts, including as well driving on a DUI suspended license with aggravated circumstances. I don't have a count, but a number of indictments returned by the sitting Johnson County Grand Jury. We'll go through some, if not all, at this time, beginning with the indictment of Brandon Gregory Hensley of Sitka for burglary, theft of a firearm, and theft of a alleged drug. The grand jury saying he was complicit with a Sarah Michelle Hensley in doing so. Indictments in the name of both Brandon Hensley and Sarah Michelle Hensley. Charged them with burglary in the second degree, theft by unlawful taking of a firearm, 2 counts for 2 firearms, and theft of a legend drug. This on or around May the 15th of this year, when they allegedly entered a Johnson County residence and stole a .32 caliber Smith & Wesson, as well as a .38 caliber Amito Rossi handgun, and also took some 25 doses of a controlled substance that had been prescribed to the home owner. Brandy Brown of McDowell, Kentucky, was indicted for arson in the third degree, theft by unlawful taking of an automobile, and public intoxication. In early May of this year, authorities say that she stole and then set fire to a 2002 Mitsubishi Montero SUV owned by another individual and did so while under the influence. She was ordered held on a $5,000 bond. These four individuals are alleged to have been complicit with each other in the theft of building supplies. Specifically, it says possession of almost $1,200 worth of roofing shingles and 8 jacks stolen from a Hager Hill residence. We have Donnie R. Bowen of Hager Hill, as well as Quentin Bailey of Paintsville, who has 13 arrest records. Bowen has 21, as well as the other two individuals, Barry Wells of Daniels Creek, and the last of the four, Gregory A. Keaton of Blaine. Caitlin Allen of Sagersville of Teachers Lane in Sagersville was named in 2 separate indictments. The first for receiving stolen property, an automobile, and license to be in possession and failure to produce insurance. February 22nd of this year, authorities allege she was in possession of a 2016 Kia Optima that had been stolen from a West Van Leer residence. The second of the 2 indictments returned in her name is for trafficking in fentanyl, trafficking in methamphetamine, and trafficking in the 3rd degree of another substance. She was said to be in possession of over a gram of fentanyl, as well as baggies, an altered glass pipe, and other items, and over 23 grams of methamphetamine upon initially being arrested and now subsequently indicted. And lastly, Alexander Matthias Jude of Thelma, indicted on strangulation in the 1st degree for the strangulation of a minor individual, not named, of course, in the indictment. He was ordered held on a $10,000 cash bond. Also indicted in neighboring Johnson County, Darren Ray Davis of Staffordsville for trafficking in meth, being a persistent felony offender, trafficking in the 3rd degree, and possession of drug paraphernalia. He was said to be in possession of over 20 grams of methamphetamine. Police believe he was selling the drug or had the intent thereto. Michael D. Castle of Conley Mobile Home Park in Hager Hill, indicted on trafficking in methamphetamine and being a persistent felony offender in the 1st degree. First degree PFO means they've got at least 2 prior felonies on their record. Michael D. Castle, again named in a separate indictment for trafficking in methamphetamine on another occasion and being a persistent felony offender. Other indictments, the name of Michael Salyers of Flat Gap for trafficking in marijuana, 8 pounds but less than 5 ounces, and trafficking in a controlled substance, that also being in complicity with Sarah Salyers, who she was also named in indictments. Charged with the same, trafficking in marijuana, 8 ounces to 5 pounds, and trafficking in a controlled substance. Brianna Strickland, indicted for trafficking in methamphetamine and trafficking in a controlled substance, said to be complicit with Jonathan C. Owens, who was also indicted on similar charges. He was as well indicted on charges of, in addition to trafficking in methamphetamine, trafficking in fentanyl, being a persistent felony offender, and operating a motor vehicle under the influence of alcohol or drugs, operating on a suspended license, and failure to register a vehicle. Jonathan Owens is from the Sagersville area. He was named, of course, in the indictment alongside Brianna Strickland. They were supposedly in possession of about 30 grams of methamphetamine and almost 2 grams of fentanyl when they were arrested. Other indictments from Johnson County include Keisha Yates, indicted on promoting contraband in the 1st degree, as well as Larry Geardy for possession of a controlled substance in the 1st degree, Gregory Van Hoos for possession, operating a motor vehicle under the influence, and on a revoked license, William Cantrell Jr., possession of methamphetamine, possession of drug paraphernalia, Joseph Meade of Paintsville, possession of methamphetamine, paraphernalia, and no driver's license. And the last few are in the name of Retina Meek of Williamsport for possession of methamphetamine, criminal trespass, resisting arrest, and menacing, and Matthew Griffith of Grayson for possession of a controlled substance in the 1st degree, that being cocaine. And lastly, Chris Perkins, receiving stolen property, a firearm, and receiving stolen property over $1,000 but less than $10,000 for being in possession of a gun and jewelry stolen from a Paintsville resident. There was one indictment returned today by the sitting Magoffin County Grand Jury. I'll have that on tomorrow's program, and more news in a moment. Banking from home or on the go has never been easier and will forever be an important and necessary part of life. And Sagersville National has been and will always be at the forefront of meeting and exceeding your financial needs and giving you the safest and most worry-free online and mobile banking so you can worry about the important things, like what's for dinner. They're there when you need them at the main and branch locations of the Sagersville National Bank. Check out the latest in savings on new sets of tires and vehicle maintenance at Conley's, like $150 back on Goodyears, $120 back on Bridgestones, and big deals on Firestone, Hankook, General, and more. All with perfect snap-on balancing, and where they only charge $35 for state-of-the-art computer diagnostics to fix exactly what you need and get you back on the road. On the web at conleytire.net or stop by in Staffordsville.
At Golden Law Office, our attorneys previously represented the nation's largest insurance and trucking companies, handling cases involving serious personal injury and death. We know their strategies, how they will defend the case, and what factors drive large settlements. The attorneys at Golden Law Office can use this inside knowledge to ensure your case is handled effectively and aggressively. Hiring Golden Law Office provides you with a strategic advantage. Call Golden Law Office today.
All right, the top story tonight is a heartwarming one. 12-year-old Colton Reisner was affected by the tragedy that unfolded in Allen as much as any adult. His stepdad says that the grief set in almost immediately for Colton, just after realizing the gravity of the tragedy in Allen. His thoughts of worry and concern for the families of those slain turned to thoughts of what can he do? What can he do to help? What can this 12-year-old do to help?
It was late at night, and he actually was in his room, and he sent me a text message. He said, "Hey, do you think we can do something to help, these families or anything involved with that?" I was like, "Yeah, we can." So we first looked at like the blue line flags, but they were expensive to try to get them in the first place, and a lot of people couldn't afford to pay a big price to make more money. So he's like, "Well, he wears these bracelets all the time, like the McGough County Hornet bracelets, Nike bracelets." So he saw these blue line bracelets online, and he said maybe we can get those and sell those and try to take all the money we get off of them and give them to the families. So that's what we ended up doing.
And for the past 2 weeks, they have set up on the Parkway here in Sagersville and at the Prestonsburg Walmart parking lot every single chance they've had.
I'd say just this alone, we put 3 to 4 hours a day, and then the rest of the time, eat, sleep, practice, gym, and this is about all I can do.
Try to get out of here in between his football practices, and I coach football, so we try to get out of here every chance we can. And the evenings I work in Lexington, so we just do all we can to get out of here.
And after Colton's email address got out there and started to circulate, so did the bracelets.
So we're actually shipping bracelets all the way to North Carolina, Tennessee, Indiana. We had a veteran actually wrote a check to Colton for $500 for 10 bracelets. So it's just been a big response. So far his goal was $1,000, and right now we're real close to the $3,500 mark.
We got to ship out a lot this week. I'd say we've got over 100 people just buying left and right. So we had the bulk order, like little phone packaging for shipping out. I'd say we've got over 100 orders from out of state. It's definitely crazy.
Sure, there have been some donations along the way. A lot of folks who graciously give a little more than the $4 that he's asking for each bracelet. Some a lot, but nevertheless, $4 a piece, $3,500.
I didn't think you'd get 1,000. I was like, well, right nowadays I really didn't think nowadays you'd barely get 500. But you definitely, when something like this happens, and you do something for the community, you really see how much people actually still care about the law enforcement.
And throughout this entire interview, and I'm sure anyone else who is listening or has talked to this young man, has had to remind themselves that this is a kid I'm listening to.
I'm in 6th grade. I go to school at SGS, and I got a couple of hobbies. I like to hunt and fish, and I like to play football.
Yeah, I hear football's a thing.
Yeah. Well, my mama and papa, they was never in the, my great mama and great papa, they wasn't in the police force, but they was in the military. And then my papa, he was deputy here for a couple years in the 1990s. Yeah, I always loved the police force. I always loved the fact that they protected me and protected my family. And growing up, I actually wanted to be a police officer, that or a Marine. I always wanted to be a Marine.
What's been some of the remarks you've gotten there? That's kind of
Well, I mean, really, he's a humble kid. He's a good kid. He's a humble kid, and he tries to step back away from him. That's what we try to teach him to do. But, he feels good trying to help, but there's been almost everybody that we have come in contact with, they're just like, they appreciate him, especially our local law enforcement, any of the officers we ever see while we're out selling. They want to shake his hand, and, they tell him anything we can do for you, we appreciate you. There's not a lot of young kids that's involved with law enforcement and community doing anything to help like he's been, so it's been awesome.
It's been bad for people in Floyd County, but for me, genuinely, it's just been heartwarming that people still actually care about the police, and it's just people nowadays, they really don't know how much the police actually means to them. If something bad happens, you're calling the police first thing, and they'll always be there for you. Anything.
And he's not done yet. This interview was done last night after I left you guys for the 6 o'clock show, and he was there then. He was out there today, and he's going to continue for as long as he can. You see him out there in the vacant lot there next to the VIP Fuels. Stop by. Pick up a bracelet. Thank this young man for his heart and all that he is doing to help. Here's tonight's McGoffin Farm Bureau Community Calendar before we get to your 7-day.
Summer has arrived, and Appalachian Wireless has a great sale on the world's hottest smartphone. From now till the end of the month, you can get the amazing iPhone 13 for more than half off. iPhone 13 on Appalachian Wireless can be your new superpower with the most advanced dual camera system ever on iPhone. And it's available on the region's best network because we are you. We are Appalachian Wireless. 128 gigabyte model only. Agreement required.
Parkway Pharmacy, as always, promises the quickest service with the very best care and prices, and to always have someone there to talk to when you have a question. With 3 pharmacists, curbside, drive-through, and call-ahead service. Parkway Pharmacy in Sagersville, 349-4400.
Where you can always talk to a pharmacist when you need one.
Looks like just a couple of announcements tonight. First off, a reminder, we had a viewer call in and say, please help if you can. They've got 2 cats missing, one black and white on Coon Creek Road. They've been gone a couple of days now, and if you see them or have any information, please give them a call at 349-6230. 2 cats, one black and white on Coon Creek Road. The boil water advisory that I've been telling you about for the Route 40 area, Falcon Post Office to the mouth of Painter's Lick and the offshoots, it's been lifted. It has been lifted. Your water is now safe to drink without having to boil it for 3 minutes. And our community calendar is not only the safest, but the best place to tell everyone about your church, group, club, nonprofit organization, whatever you have planned, or birthday or anniversary that you want to pass along. Moving on, funeral service announcements tonight brought to you nightly, as they always are, by the McGoffin County Funeral Home. Begin with a reminder that the funeral in honor of 67-year-old Paul B. Collinsworth will start in the morning at 11 from the First Community Baptist Church. Paul B. Collinsworth passed away earlier this week, survived by his wife Sandra Kay and sons Paul Jr. and Adam Lacey Collinsworth, as well as 4 brothers and a number of grandchildren. Services also are going to be held tomorrow starting at 1 at the Ivington Baptist Church for 2-year-old Daniel Darrell Jordan of Tudor Key, who passed away Sunday. Survived by his parents, Danny Darrell and Jessica Perkins Jordan, as well as his sister and 2 brothers, and a host of other family members. Services again tomorrow at 1 from the Ivington Baptist Church. And services have now been set for Marcus Conley, 85 of Sagersville. He passed away at his home Tuesday, the youngest child of John C. and Mary Perkins Conley. He survived by his son Steve, grandsons TJ and John Conley, and a number of nieces and nephews. Visitation will be held Monday morning at 10 till noon, and services will start Monday afternoon at 2. Again, at the Magoffin County Funeral Home. An arrangement still incomplete at this hour for 70-year-old Cleta Stevens Russell of Sagersville, who passed away Tuesday. Summer's almost here and the seasonal shop is ready. The shop is filled right now with bright colors, beautiful clothes, and new jewelry for all your vacations and summer outings and fun. They've got gifts for any graduate, wedding, and special occasion that may be on your calendar this summer, and you can let them create the perfect gift basket for you. And it's grill season, and that means pool days, cookouts, and backyard parties, and they've got gorgeous home decor, outdoor serving pieces, flags, porch decor, and everything to update your home inside and out for the summer. Stop by and see them, as always, with local delivery, curbside pickup, and shipping, and they're happy to help you shop by phone as well. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. It's the Seasonal Shop in downtown Sagersville. Now, here's how things are heating up in your Licking Valley RECC 7-day. That cold front that didn't have a lot to it last night did have enough to spark off some thunder, a little lightning, and some showers and storms. Not so much in the viewing area, but in other parts we fared pretty well, however, and we saw a bit of a milder day as a result. And we'll wrap up this Thursday with 64 degrees tonight, mostly clear skies, and some patchy fog after 1 in the a.m. or so that will linger until the sun burns it off at about 9 o'clock or so. And then tomorrow, we're going to crank it up. We'll hit right around 90. We've backed off a degree or two from what we were expecting tomorrow to be, but still 90, sunny, and hot for your Friday. 66 tomorrow night, not too bad for your overnight low, sunny and mostly clear. And then the weekend gets hotter still. 91 in your Saturday. Nighttime temperatures will be closer to 70. Sunny, mostly clear, definitely dry and hot and full of sunshine for your Saturday. Ditto for your Sunday, and hotter still. We should top out 92, 93 degrees possibly. Nighttime lows right around 72, so it's going to be on the steamy side start to finish for your weekend and certainly onto your Sunday. And then our next scenario paints a picture of more clouds and showers than not. This system will take temperatures back down into the 80s, down to the low 80s by Tuesday. But with it, we're going to see clouds and shower chances, the likelihood of them stick around. Monday, 88, mostly cloudy, a 60% chance of showers and storms. Tuesday, down to 82, mostly cloudy, milder, but a 60% chance of showers and storms. Wednesday, 84, mostly cloudy. I know, I'm repeating myself. A 60% chance of showers and storms. This time next week, we'll see a little sunshine make a return, upper 80s, and a still 50% chance of showers and storms. Next week, not as nice as this one. And that's it for this evening, but not it for the week. One more day to wrap it up. Hope to see you then. For now, enjoy your evening, and thank you for watching.